What up, y'all? It's Dominic369 coming back at y'all for Occultism Unleashed. Today is Wednesday, sacred to Mercury. So we talking Mercury magic. We talking about manifestation, healing, and words of power. All these things fall under the rulership of Mercury. So first we're going to talk about, manifestation. Because the ancient god from Kemet, aka Egypt, sacred that rules over Mercury, is Tahuti, or as the Greeks called him, Thoth. So over, the course of creation, in the nothingness, Thoth existed. That's where they get in Genesis. In the beginning, there was the word. Thoth, Tahuti, was the word. And he spoke. And Ra manifested into existence. Awareness came. So when you look at the symbol of Venus, Venus is a hand mirror. If you look at the symbol of Mercury, Mercury is a hand mirror, but it has two horns. Now those two horns represent the knowledge and understanding that come from self-reflection. The knowledge and understanding that come from knowing yourself. Know thyself and you shall know all things. This is what they carved on the portals of our temples. Know thyself and you shall know all things. So once one has adopted the self-reflection of Venus and gained knowledge and understanding, that's what puts the two little horns on Venus. On the symbol for Venus, you add the two horns, you got the symbol for Mercury. That means knowledge and understanding that has been derived from self-reflection. When you know yourself and understand how your energy works, you can create words of power. You can create phrases that allow you to manifest, that allow you to command the elements. That allow you to summon this spirit or that spirit, and they obey. This comes with knowledge of self. I tell y'all a lot. Knowledge without understanding is the formula for chaos. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. So it definitely has to do with the ability to analyze and have good thoughts. But the flaws on that, is somebody who's constantly criticizing themselves or others on the Virgo side, analyzing or criticizing good and bad. On the Gemini side, is the, bright intellect, and then the superficial mind that doesn't pay attention, that's easily distracted. When you understand the nature of your Mercury, the nature of your mind, which is your slave, then you can start making your mind work for you. Instead of you always doing what your mind says. Remember the phrase, I changed my mind. It's something that belongs to you, something that you are supposed to be in control of, but you've been indoctrinated to believe otherwise. So this goes into the healing. This goes into how Mercury rules healing. With proper knowledge and understanding of how you or something else is supposed to function, the truth of this thing, the mayat, the truth, with that knowledge and understanding, you can restore it to truth or peace or its original order. That's all healing is. When you restore something to its original place. You understand? You do this through knowledge and understanding. Without correct knowledge and understanding, you cannot heal nothing at all. You may treat the symptoms. You may keep the symptoms at bay. You may suppress the problem. But if you don't have knowledge and understanding of what you're dealing with, you are not going to correct the problem. You are just going to delay dealing with the problem and procrastinate on the problem. And this is why a lot of people fail to grow, because they don't have knowledge or understanding of themselves, nor do they desire it, because it's easy to not have any accountability. With words of power, you gain the ability to manifest. But you have to speak in truth. You cannot speak in truth without proper knowledge and understanding. So we're going to look at each sign a little bit. I took some notes so I could make sure I covered the most important stuff for everybody. I like to, come off the dome and stuff, but it's not about what I like to do, really. It's about, what helps y'all get the most understanding. So I'm trying to put more time into the videos and stuff, and give y'all better knowledge and stuff. So give me a second to look at my notes. So we gonna start at Mercury and Aries. Now, if you got Mercury and Aries, you have fast and spontaneous thoughts, but the flaws of Mercury and Aries, you have a weak mind and you're impatient. You quick to give up on things. So just like you're fast to start the fire, you have to make sure you keep going with your ideas. If you have Mercury and Aries, just like you get that spark, make sure you keep going with your ideas. Make sure you keep going with your ideas. Because you're the person who helps other people manifest. You get other people going. You just have to have the patience to stay with that idea and nurture it. Once you ignite a fire, you're trying to do something with that fire, whether you're trying to keep warm, you're trying to prepare food, whether it's for light, you are doing something by stoking this fire with those quick thoughts, Mercury and Aries. If you want to get the best and manifest those quick ideas, you have to nurture that fire. When we bust down, Mercury and Taurus, you looking at somebody who has good common sense. They're down to earth, but it's also somebody who's stubborn and stuck on how you feel things should be, or how you were taught stuff is supposed to be. It's hard for people with Mercury and Taurus to accept new ideas, and this is their downfall. That narrow-minded and stubbornness brings about the downfall of Mercury and Taurus, because those down to earth and common sense ideas can be innovated. They can be cultivated. They can be expanded and expounded upon. But Mercury and Taurus has a hard time with allowing things to grow and evolve once their mind is, built a certain way. Mercury, if you got Mercury and Gemini, you got a keen thinker, but you also have a superficial thinker. Mercury and Gemini can be real superficial and petty. Petty as a mug, man. So I'm giving more time to the negative because more often than not, that's what's been indoctrinated and nourished within us. So I want to bring it to your awareness so you can transmute that and change those behavior patterns. You know, it's not that these signs are bad and the Mercury energy is bad. I'm making you aware of the flaws so you can change them. You know, and a lot of times that's all we need is somebody to bring stuff to our attention so we can change it. And that's all I'm doing, bringing things to your attention so you can change it. So when we move to Cancer, Mercury and Cancer, these are very imaginative people, but they're also inconsistent, you know. The inconsistency and wishy-washiness of people with, you know, Mercury and Cancer, because they're nurturers, so they're like Virgos and they like to please people. So they'll not commit, or they'll, you know, give a halfway commitment or make indirect, you know, comments. That's how Mercury and Cancer, when it's dysfunctional, move. So you got to work on that. You come to Mercury and Leo, you know, Mercury and Leo in tip-top shape. You know, they self-confident in their thoughts and decisions. But when the Mercury and Leo is on a negative low self, you have a person who thinks they know a lot more than they really do. And oftentimes that comes back to bite them in their ass. So Mercury and Leo, when it comes to your mentality and your mind and how you dissipate and share knowledge or your opinions, make sure you're on point, because it'll come back to bite you in your ass and really hurt your pride. You know, you're creative in your ideas on the positive. Use your creativity to make sure the things that you say are right and exact. And then you don't have to worry about your little ego being hurt. You know, Mercury and Virgo, these are the analyzers. You know, when functioning well, they get down to the details, get down to business. But when they're on their negative Nancy, Mercury and Virgo is the critical person. They criticize everybody. They police themselves. You know, they beat themselves up and judge, very judgmental. They have something to say about everything that everybody else does. You know, so you got to be aware of that low self, because when you analyzing the flaws of other people, Mercury and Virgo, it's usually because you don't want to see how shitty you really are. So we bust over to Libra. You know, Mercury and Libra, you know, that's a harmonious mind. You know, Mercury and Libra give a harmonious mind, but on the negative side, it gives a very superficial and complacent mind that likes to avoid conflicts and that'll compromise on their morals and principles just to keep the peace. So if you're functioning out of Mercury and Libra from a weak place, just understand that your refusal to speak up is affecting other people who trust you to give them sound advice and to help them make good decisions. So when you withhold that information from them, Mercury and Libra, because you don't want to be judged on your thoughts, you harming other people. So let that weigh on your conscience, Mercury and Libra. We got Mercury and Scorpio. Now, these are some analyzers. Mercury and Scorpio is very analytical. They like to analyze and examine things. Excellent for research. Excellent for gaining understanding in themselves and others. But Mercury and Scorpio will also analyze themselves to death. They will look for problems that don't exist, you know, and they will become obsessed. Instead of them analyzing things and researching and actually discovering the problem, they will become obsessed with the why or the how come. And this is why you see and hear about, you know, people saying, oh, Scorpios are obsessive, or You know, they're not, it's not that they're obsessed with you. They're obsessed with trying to figure out why or how come or what makes me attracted to this person. Because Scorpio's ruled by Pluto, and Pluto rules, you know, the inner depths. Scorpios had a desire to understand and analyze, which often turns to obsession when they can't comprehend the how, the why, or the what. So when you come to Mercury and Sagittarius, that's my sign, Mercury and Sagittarius. Mercury, Sagittarius in the 12th house. You know, you candid, you speak frankly, and then, you know, the downside is a condescending asshole. And I'm pretty sure, you know, y'all seeing me be on my dickhead shit. You know, because I even say I'm not an asshole, because assholes get fucked. I'm a dickhead and dicks do all the fucking. So y'all know how I can be sometimes. But I got to work on that. I still be working on that. We all work in progress. Capricorn, Mercury in Capricorn is very logical. Logical, but that logicalness becomes narrow-mindedness when you adversely expressing the energy of Mercury. Because you can only see things in one direction. You know, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and when Saturn restricts the mind, it destroys the mind's natural ability to expand, as the mind is ruled by air. Saturn's energy, because it rules Capricorn, restricts that and leads these people to a narrow-mindedness, a stubbornness, like Taurus, but in a matter-of-fact way, like, you know, this is what it is, and everything else doesn't fucking matter. You know, that's how raw Capricorn can be. Capricorn get very cold and callous when it comes to, you know, getting outside of the box of where they think at. Mercury in Aquarius, you know, that's a creative sign. You know, Aquarius bring you a lot of creativity, a lot of ingenuity, you know, but on the downside, you know, that Mercury in Aquarius allow a motherfucker to get lost in the abstract. They get to trying to be so different and unique that they get lost in the sauce and take everybody with them that they were supposed to be taken to a destination. You know, they get so caught in the abstract that they go from, you know, being that spark of ingenuity, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus rules, you know, spontaneous information. You know, it goes from that spontaneous information into a whole, you know, power surge that fries the whole circuit and tries to, you know, send information and stuff where it don't need to go. Pisces, man. Very intuitive. Mercury in Pisces is very intuitive, man. But the downside of Mercury in Pisces, you have a perpetual victim. A perpetual victim. Not only will you suffer for yourself, you'll suffer for everybody else. You will find a reason to worry. You'll find a reason to be dramatic. That's about the only sign in the zodiac, man, that kind of makes me sad is Pisces. Because they really don't understand on a spiritual level the pain and suffering of this plane. You know what I'm saying? And they want to rescue and help everybody. You know, they want to provide that refuge for everybody. And it creates, you know, Mercury and Pisces a lot of mental anguish. But again, you know, when Mercury and Pisces is on his job, man, and trusting his intuition and not, you know, limited in itself to what has been indoctrinated on how to think, you know, Mercury and Pisces, you got to learn to, you know, think, but a lot of information to be downloaded into you. So again, with knowledge and understanding brings the self-healing, which allows you to create words of power that bring about your manifestations. Planetary magic is very real. Drop some links in the bio for the regular recommended books, a little bit of commentary, and of course, you know, a lot of people trying to help out. Everybody can't afford, you know, for private coaching or spell work. Get the books, study, watch the videos. If you got a little bit of money in your budget, join Mystic University, that link in the bio. Monica Bey, good people, man. You know, a lot of people doing good stuff for our people, and she one of them. You know, but the things that people do, it costs money. So get the help while you can get it. For real. For real, because other people need to be able to teach other people too. So Mystic University, a good place to go. Them prices gonna go up.